Who is God and where was he before creation? Great Secrets of God, which God revealed to Enoch. Welcome to the Way of the Cross channel. In this channel, we deal with biblical issues which are least expounded and also with history on those issues which would help anyone join the dots while reading the scriptures. Welcome and join us. Please do not forget to subscribe. We will be very grateful. Take whatever we say with a pinch of salt. But please go and do your own research to see if it's true or not. Take your time to write your comments below. We will appreciate it. In this video, we are going to learn about God, from what he said about himself to Enoch. We will use the book of the Secrets of Enoch. This new fragment of early literature came to light through certain manuscripts, which were recently found in Russia and Serbia, and so far, as is yet known, has been preserved only in Slavonic. Little is known of its origin, except that in its present form, it was written somewhere about the beginning of the Christian era. Its final editor was a Greek and the place of its composition Egypt. Its value lies in the unquestioned influence which it has exerted on the writers of the New Testament. Some of the dark passages of the latter being all but inexplicable without its aid. Although the very knowledge that such a book ever existed was lost for probably 1,200 years, it nevertheless was much used by both Christian and heretic in the early centuries and forms a most valuable document in any study of the forms of early Christianity. The writing appeals to the reader who thrills to lend wings to his thoughts and fly to mystical realms. Here is a strange dramatization of eternity, with views on creation, anthropology, and ethics. As the world was made in 6 days, so its history would be accomplished in 6,000 years, or 6 million years, and this would be followed by 1,000 years of rest, possibly when the balance of conflicting moral forces has been struck and human life has reached the ideal state. At its close would begin the 8th eternal day, when time should be no more. Let us now examine what really happened from the perspective of the Book of Enoch. We will be closely inspecting what the Book of Secrets of Enoch says from chapters 21 to 31. Let's go. This book speaks of the great secrets of God, which God revealed and told to Enoch, and spoke with him face to face. And the Lord summoned me, and said to me, Enoch, sit down on my left with Gabriel. And I bowed down to the Lord, and the Lord spoke to me, Enoch, beloved, all that you see, all things that are standing finished I tell to you, even before the very beginning, all that I created from none being, and visible things from invisible. Hear, Enoch, and take in these my words, for not to my angels have I told my secret, and I have not told them their rise, nor my endless realm, nor have they understood my creating, which I tell you today. For before all things were visible, I alone used to go about in the invisible things, like the sun from east to west, and from west to east. But even the sun has peace in itself, while I found no peace, because I was creating all things, and I conceived the thought of placing foundations, and of creating visible creation. I commanded in the very lowest parts, that visible things should come down from invisible, and a doyle came down very great, and I beheld him, and lo, he had a belly of great light, a doyle, or light of creation. And I said to him, become undone, a doyle, and let the visible come out of you. And he came undone, and a great light came out. And I was in the midst of the great light, and as there is born light from light, there came forth a great age, and showed all creation, which I had thought to create. And I saw that it was good. And I placed for myself a throne, and took my seat on it, and said to the light, go thence up higher, and fix yourself high above the throne, and be a foundation to the highest things. And above the light there is nothing else. And then I bent up and looked up from my throne. And I summoned the very lowest a second time, and said, let arches come forth hard, and he came forth hard from the invisible. Arches, or spirit of creation. And arches came forth, hard, heavy, and very red. And I said, be opened, arches, and let there be born from you. And he came undone. An age came forth, very great and very dark, bearing the creation of all lower things. And I saw that it was good, and said to him, Go thence down below, and make yourself firm, and be a foundation for the lower things. And it happened, and he went down and fixed himself, and became the foundation for the lower things, and below the darkness there is nothing else.
And I commanded that there should be taken from light and darkness, and I said, Be thick, and it became thus, and I spread it out with the light, and it became water, and I spread it out over the darkness, below the light, and then I made firm the waters, that is to say the bottomless, and I made foundation of light around the water, and created 7 circles from inside, and imaged the water like crystal wet and dry, that is to say like glass, and the circumcision of the waters and the other elements, and I showed each one of them its road, and the 7 stars each one of them in its heaven, that they go thus, and I saw that it was good. And I separated between light and between darkness, that is to say in the midst of the water hither and thither, and I said to the light, that it should be the day, and to the darkness, that it should be the night. And then I made firm the heavenly circle, and made that the lower water which is under heaven collect itself together into one whole, and that the chaos become dry, and it became so. Out of the waves I created rock hard and big, and from the rock I piled up the dry, and the dry I called earth, and the midst of the earth I called abyss, that is to say the bottomless. I collected the sea in one place and bound it together with a yoke. And I said to the sea, Behold, I give you your eternal limits, and you shall not break loose from your component parts. Thus I made fast the firmament. This day I called me the first created, Sunday. And for all the heavenly troops I imaged the image and essence of fire. And my eye looked at the very hard, firm rock, and from the gleam of my eye the lightning received its wonderful nature, which is both fire and water and fire, and one does not put out the other, nor does the one dry up the other. Therefore the lightning is brighter than the sun, softer than water and firmer than hard rock. And from the rock I cut off a great fire, and from the fire I created the orders of the incorporeal 10 troops of angels, and their weapons are fiery and their raiment a burning flame, and I commanded that each one should stand in his order. And one from out the order of angels, having turned away with the order that was under him, conceived an impossible thought, to place his throne higher than the clouds above the earth, that he might become equal in rank to my power. And I threw him out from the height with his angels, and he was flying in the air continuously above the bottomless. On the 3rd day I commanded the earth to make grow great and fruitful trees, and hills, and seed to sow, and I planted paradise, and enclosed it, and placed as armed guardians flaming angels, and thus I created renewal. Then came evening, and came morning the 4th day, Wednesday. On the 4th day I commanded that there should be great lights on the heavenly circles. On the first uppermost circle I placed the stars, Chrono, and on the 2nd Aphrodite, on the 3rd Eris, on the 5th Zeus, on the 6th Hermes, on the 7th lesser the moon, and adorned it with the lesser stars. And on the lower I placed the sun for the illumination of day, and the moon and stars for the illumination of night. The sun that it should go according to each constellation, 12, and I appointed the succession of the months and their names and lives, their thunderings, and their hour markings, how they should succeed. Then evening came and morning came the 5th day, Thursday. On the 5th day I commanded the sea, that it should bring forth fishes, and feathered birds of many varieties, and all animals creeping over the earth, going forth over the earth on 4 legs, and soaring in the air, male sex and female, and every soul breathing the spirit of life. And there came evening, and there came morning the 6th day, Friday. On the 6th day I commanded my wisdom to create man from 7 consistencies. 1. His flesh from the earth. 2. His blood from the dew. 3. His eyes from the sun. 4. His bones from stone. 5. His intelligence from the swiftness of the angels and from cloud. 6. His veins and his hair from the grass of the earth. 7. His soul from my breath and from the wind. And I gave him 7 natures. To the flesh hearing, the eyes for sight, to the soul smell, the veins for touch, and the blood for taste, the bones for endurance, to the intelligence sweetness, enjoyment. I conceived a cunning saying to say, I created man from invisible and from visible nature, Of both are his death and life and image. He knows speech like some created thing, small in greatness and again great in smallness. And I placed him on earth, a second angel, honorable, great and glorious. And I appointed him as ruler to rule on earth and to have my wisdom. And there was none like him of earth of all my existing creatures.
And I appointed him a name from the 4 component parts, from east, from west, from south, from north, and I appointed for him 4 special stars, and I called his name Adam, and showed him the 2 ways, the light and the darkness, and I told him, this is good and that bad, that I should learn whether he has love towards me or hatred, that it be clear which in his race love me. For I have seen his nature, but he has not seen his own nature, therefore through not seeing he will sin worse. And I said, after sin what is there but death? And I put sleep into him and he fell asleep. And I took from him a rib and created him a wife, that death should come to him by his wife. And I took his last word and called her name Mother, that is to say, Eva. I made the heavens open to him, that he should see the angels singing the song of victory, and the gloomless light. And he was continuously in paradise. And the devil understood that I wanted to create another world, because Adam was Lord on earth to rule and control it. The devil is the evil spirit of the lower places. As a fugitive he made Sotona from the heavens, as his name was Satanael. Thus he became different from the angels, but his nature did not change his intelligence as far as his understanding of righteous and sinful things. Sotona or Diana. Satanael or the impious one. Ha-Satan in Hebrew means the adversary, referring here to the lead adversary, or Lucifer. And he understood his condemnation and the sin which he had sinned before, therefore he conceived thought against Adam. In such form he entered and seduced Eva, but did not touch Adam. But I cursed ignorance, but what I had blessed previously, those I did not curse. I cursed not man, nor the earth, nor other creatures, but man's evil fruit and his works. I said to him, Earth you are, and into the earth whence I took you shalt go, and I will not ruin you, but send you whence I took you. Then I can again receive you at my second presence. And I blessed all my creatures visible and invisible. And Adam was 5½ hours in paradise. And I blessed the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, on which he rested from all his works. And I appointed the 8th day also, that the 8th day should be the first created after my work, and that the first 7 revolve in the form of the 7,000, and that at the beginning of the 8,000 there should be a time of not counting, endless, with neither years nor months nor weeks nor days nor hours. And now, Enoch, all that I have told you, all that you have understood, all that you have seen of heavenly things, all that you have seen on earth, and all that I have written in books by my great wisdom, all these things I have devised and created from the uppermost foundation to the lower and to the end, and there is no counselor nor inheritor to my creations. I am self-eternal, not made with hands and without change. My thought is my counselor, my wisdom and my word are made, and my eyes observe all things how they stand here and tremble with terror. If I turn away my face, then all things will be destroyed. And apply your mind, Enoch, and know him who is speaking to you, and take thence the books which you have written. Anyway, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you learned something new or enjoyed it. Please remember to subscribe to this channel for similar videos. Have a good morning.